Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are seeing this video. If you're here with us live, again, good morning. If you are watching the replay, that means it's the Friday after the Wednesday when we've had our Wednesday webinar series. So thanks again for being here with us. If you have not already, make sure you go to abetterlifetogether.org and subscribe. That way you'll get emails about all of our upcoming events. We do have an amazing in-person event we're working on for spring 2022. We hope to see each and every one of you there in person. So that is the Bridging the Gap Community Resource Event. There's more information that's going to be posted and live on our site November 1st. Otherwise, take a look around. Make sure you check out our blog post for our Wednesday webinar from last week with Sanford Autism Consulting. This week, we are excited. I have been trying to get Momentum Tutoring on for such a long time. I've heard nothing but awesome and amazing things. If you're not already, I'm going to link their information down in the chat. Momentum Tutoring Santee is who you're going to follow on Facebook. You can find out more about all of the beautiful, amazing, excellent work they are doing in Santee at momentumtutoring.org. Okay, they were a 2021 great nonprofits, top rated nonprofit. Word is from an interview that I heard, they actually beat out the school district with these awards. So that says quite a lot. Okay. I shared with Teresa when her and I got to talk earlier this week that I'd heard this podcast interview that her and Michelle and some of her colleagues over at Momentum did. And I firmly believe in working in excellence and in delivering supports and services in excellence. That is why the Bridge Project exists. That is why Momentum Tutoring exists. I don't want to read their whole about section. I just want Teresa to share how they are being excellent in Santee, how they are empowering children, how they are assisting with advocacy and services and providing support. And we're going to learn about Tutoring 101 this morning. So we're still in a pandemic. I mean, if you hadn't noticed, we are on Zoom still, okay? So that means when we welcome Teresa, this hand can't touch this hand, but we're still clapping. So this is the COVID pandemic clap. If everybody can do this, that's our welcome for Teresa with Momentum Tutoring. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Melissa. Momentum is honored to be joining A Better Life Together through the Bridge Project. The Wednesday webinar series is a brilliant platform for bringing resources in the community together. Momentum Tutoring is joining the table as a nonprofit 501c3 devoted to elevating the community by providing customized tutoring, mentoring, and enrichment to K-12 students in East County, San Diego. I've invited a few key players with Momentum to join us today. I'm going to have them introduce themselves before we begin because they will be contributing throughout the webinar and during the Q&A session. Miss Michelle May.
Hi, I'm Michelle May. I'm the HR manager for Momentum. I also work on curriculum as well as helping with any students with autism and IEPs.
Miss Cindy Carlton.
I'm Cindy Carlton. I'm a board member and volunteer with Canine Companion, bringing the dogs to the center to help encourage the kids to just have a good time while they're learning.
And Miss Lindsay.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Zarin. I'm a music therapist with Resounding Joy. We're a music therapy not-for-profit in San Diego, and we've been working with Momentum for a few years.
Thank you, guys. So when I was invited to do this webinar, I thought I should do some math. I've always had trouble with math, but after doing tutoring for so long, I've kind of got it under my belt. And I've been working with students directly for 30 years. 19 years as a parent of 2 boys, 14 years running Momentum, 7 years as a parent of a child with epilepsy. All of this adds to my passion to fill the gaps for students and their families. Did you know that statistically 1 in 5 students struggle with school? Not knowing how to do something and not being able to find somebody to help is a key reason that students and people in general perform below their potential. For guardians and students alike, navigating schoolwork alone can be a challenge, especially if there are other life challenges going on. Momentum impacts lives by providing programs to make people feel like they're not alone and that anything is possible. Students, parents, tutors, teachers, administrators, resource specialists, volunteers, businesses, and private donors form Momentum's community of collaboration that elevates student skills, confidence, resilience, and joy. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever had a tutor or if you've ever been a tutor. People all over the world use tutors because they help with confidence, learning, and achievement. Study after study shows that private tutoring works with enormous impact. According to the Quarterly Journal of Economics, tutored students outperformed non-tutored students in 45 out of 52 studies. That's a rate of nearly 90%, which means tutoring works. Tutoring requires effort, time, and financial commitment. It's not usually something that is started without a lot of thought and background circumstances. So how do you know if it's time to get a tutor? Well, there are 3 major red flags that it's time to get a tutor. And red flag number 1 is if there is crying involved. Students should not be crying, parents should not be crying. If everybody's feeling overwhelmed, that's a good time to get a tutor. Red flag number 2, if you know your student is working below their potential and everybody kind of feels that they can do better, because sometimes it's just more time and effort on everybody's part that really makes a difference with benchmarks and achievement. And red flag number 3, if your student is uninspired and doesn't seem to care about school or learning, that's a big red flag. Because discovering the joy of learning is really a key to success. And what I want everybody to remember is that people of all ages and abilities can benefit from tutors. I personally have tutors, and I recommend them for everybody. What I love about Momentum is it's like a one-room schoolhouse. We serve K through 12 students, all subjects, all abilities, all in one space. On a typical weekday afternoon, you'll see a 1st grader learning how to read, a high schooler learning pre-calculus, a 4th grader learning to write leads, a middle school student learning Spanish, a kindergarten student with autism taking a jumpy break on the trampoline, all while a small group of students and tutors are huddled around a canine companion. Our specialty is one-on-one tutoring. We offer certificated teachers and private aides. Certificated teachers have a college degree and a state of California teaching credential. Private aides are college graduates, college students, and high school students. Students may attend in-person tutoring or at our center in Cuyamaca or utilize online tutoring. While supporting and accelerating academics is our primary goal, we recognize mentoring enrichment as equally beneficial. Momentum collaborates to offer programs and services that promote well-being, creativity, compassion, and joy. Canine Companion Service Dogs, Resounding Joy Music Therapy, art projects, leadership opportunities, summer camps, and mentoring for parents is all part of what we do. Cindy's here to tell you a little bit more about Momentum and Canine Companions.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm a puppy raiser for Canine Companions, and Canine Companions is a nonprofit organization that provides highly trained service dogs with people with disabilities, not including blindness. A lot of our dogs are placed with children with autism or kids in wheelchair. So the opportunity for my dogs to go to Momentum and hang out with kids, and it's a good thing for both the dogs and Momentum. The kids, the dogs are socialized, the children are rewarded and socialized, and Terri just absolutely loves the dogs. It's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. I say I'm bringing them in for the kids, but it's really emotional support from me. They always make my day. So thank you, Cindy, for being a part of Momentum and bringing in your dogs. Logo was our first dog, and he is almost has a job. And now we have our Ro, who's 6 months old. And I've also invited Lindsay with Resounding Joy. It's a different nonprofit, but we do like to collaborate to enrich the lives of our students. Lindsay, please introduce a little bit more about Resounding Joy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terri. So Resounding Joy is a music therapy not-for-profit. We originally started in San Diego and just this year expanded into the Midwest. I'm not sure if you knew that, Terri, but we're growing.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome.
And we've been able to work with, through grants and donations, have been able to work with some of the students working with Momentum who have other medical conditions aside from their learning challenges. So we've worked with children who have cancer diagnoses and epilepsy diagnoses, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Down syndrome. So we're able to work with those families for free through these grants and donations and get the referrals from Terri and the team at Momentum.
It was so awesome to have you as a resource, Lindsay, because one of our students, when they got guitars for Christmas, I was like, oh, we got to get you playing. You can get a guitar, but you got to learn how to play. So thank you for making that opportunity available.
Our pleasure.
So let's keep going on. So we're all, I would say, somewhat familiar with Superman and his Clark Kent persona, yes? Well, Clark Kent is a superhero dressed as an average Joe. And I wanted to know, how many of you know real life super people? I'm fortunate to know a lot. When my son was diagnosed with a brain tumor at 12, I had a really difficult time accepting that he was going to have brain surgery. And one day, while getting images from Kaiser to send to Stanford for a second opinion, I was on the brink of a breakdown. And when I had an epiphany, as I sat in the parking lot, I clearly saw two versions of myself. One where I was on the floor crying behind a closed hospital door, and another where I was strong and walking around with the doctors and nurses and smiling. And that's when I really realized that it was my choice. I could either be a scared mess or I could be a strong advocate for my son. And I decided I wanted to be the strong version of myself. For my son, my family, the medical staff helping us, for everyone that was counting at me for Momentum, and just really for myself. And it was by making this choice that I sought and found excellent doctors for my son. They kept him alive through a difficult surgery, and they honestly gave him a chance at a longer, higher quality life. Since that day in the parking lot, I've made an extra effort to be my best, and surround myself with excellent people. My life experiences with excellent people are what inspire Momentum's vision for programs to be a catalyst that prompts students to thrive in their academics, cultivate confidence and compassion, be resourceful, and literally strive for excellence. So, what makes Momentum excellent? Santi's favorite. It's our use of best practices combined with a special touch. Having subject matter expertise is a best practice in regards to tutoring. Momentum leaders have professional education, degrees, and special credentials. Our tutors undergo training and regular coaching from certificated teachers and more experienced tutors. Michelle, our human resource manager, is here to tell you a little bit more about Momentum staff and training. And it sounds like her 4-month-old Ivy wants to take the center stage.
No. So through Momentum, we hire high school and college students, as well as retired teachers, to help lead Momentum. We use everybody as a resource and use their strengths and talents to help push people forward. We also provide them with trainings with different programs that we use. We use a reading program called Words Their Way to help students that are struggling to read and write and spell to push themselves further.
There you go. One of my favorite parts about our staff is learning to get to know them and to give new jobs to some of our students that have been with us a long time. That's a big thing for us, is to provide jobs in the community. A second best practice Momentum lives by is implementing exceptional program structure. While classroom and small group instruction hold tremendous value, private customized instruction is an excellent way to increase and accelerate understanding and competency, especially when it is closely aligned with classroom instruction. There are an infinite number of ways to provide tutoring. Momentum focuses on supporting students with what they're working on in school, while personalizing instruction to piece things together for students. What does a supportive community even mean? I feel like the B.R.I.G.E project and Better Life Together is bringing a community together. And I know that Melissa mentioned to me that she's found a lot of support through them. And we want to be a part of that. And a supportive community means that people are helping each other out and they're being their best. See, there's common factors between all students that benefit from tutoring, but every single student is unique. And so we provide customized tutoring. Ongoing communication between our tutors and parents is the best practice strategy. At Momentum, we have standard programs, yet we evolve around the needs of each student in the family. And this unique technique is what makes Momentum different. This past year, we were able to help a young lady whose brother was diagnosed with cancer. And during the pandemic, she really didn't have a place to go to school. So we created a place for her at Momentum. And Cindy and our canine companion played a big role in that. Cindy, could you share a little bit more about what you saw as an outsider and how we were interacting with a brilliant young lady who needed to kind of come out of her shell?
Yes, Terri, thank you. I was thrilled this last summer, well, 2020, when things finally opened up. Terri invited me and Logo, my current, the canine companion at the time that I was raising, over to Momentum. She said, I have a child. I'm just going to call her Anne. Anne was just, she loved dogs, but she was going through some tough times. And so she was spending time at Momentum. And Terri thought she could use an additional friend. And so Lola and I went over a day a week, couple hours, and we would just hang out with Liliana. Liliana did a lot of artwork, and she's really creative. Initially, we started going about June, and she was pretty shy and standoffish, and she loved the dog, but she was quiet. Over the next year, the child pretty much blossomed. She would hang out with Logo, and she'd paint, and then she helped him paint, and he didn't really like it, but it was okay. It was a really good thing for both the child and the dog. And to see the change in Liliana was it's amazing. The one thing that makes me so excited about Momentum is they're not just teaching ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Momentum is so involved in the whole child. What do you need? How can we help you? You're a little bit distracted. Okay, we'll just focus for a little while on your schoolwork, and then you can do something fun. Okay, now we're back to schoolwork. Bringing in the dog is helpful because now the kids can work towards dog time. It's nice to see all the kids happy and liking to learn. Personally, my experience with that child was she's pretty much the only one I've had one-on-one with, but it amazes me what Momentum does. Those kids are happy learning.
Thank you, Cindy. It's hard to explain that myself, so I appreciate when outsiders are able to see that happening. We believe in year-round instruction, or at least offering year-round instruction. And the reason is because consistency plays a huge role in building learning confidence and achievement. Our programs are available year-round, but we don't lock families into long contracts. We encourage month-by-month enrollment with formal time commitments with their tutors. For example, every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 to 5. People always ask, how many sessions do I need? Sessions should be 1 to 3 times weekly, and you will generally see some improvement with that. Some students are with Momentum for just a few months, and some students are with Momentum throughout their whole academic career. So I'm wondering if anyone out there remembers watching the Jetsons? Anyone? Yes, okay. I just thought that was the coolest show. And when they were talking on the phone, it was like, what? That's unbelievable. In the cartoon, they live with technology that was not around in that day. And they were FaceTiming before any of us, right? So can you imagine what life is going to be like in 20 years? Our job as parents and educators and connectors is to develop our children for a future that's rapidly changing, and we don't even really know what it's going to look like. So what that means is we need to prepare them for that unknown. And Momentum believes it is really our duty as an organization and a community to create lifelong learners that are innovative thinkers. They are problem solvers. So how do you do that? You do it in 2 ways. One, you focus on teaching the learning process rather than just teaching skills and knowledge. And the second is teaching strategies and thinking tools so that students are properly prepared for this unknown future. They need to be resourceful, creative, thoughtful, and resilient. Not just smart, everything. Another key strategy in preparing students for the future is encouraging excellence. I'm pretty sure no one out there wants an okay doctor, engineer, server, teacher. You don't want an okay anything, right? But personifying excellence, it's so difficult to do. It seems like it, right? And in reality, it really is difficult to personify excellence, but it's worth it. And excellence is actually an attitude, not a skill. And it's something that any of us can do. And here's how. The first thing you do is try your best. Try your best in everything you do, in your work, in your relationships with your family, with strangers. Try your best. And the second thing is repeat a mantra. A lot of us have a negative soundtrack in our head, and this soundtrack can replace anything. Every day in every way, get better and better. By doing your best and trying to get better and better every day, that's how you can personify excellence. So my question is, are you ready? Are you ready to be excellent? Let's do it. Everybody wants to know, well, how do you get in? So Momentum's programs are sustained through tuition fees, grants, and donations that are subsidized to low-income families. Low income or anybody experiencing a health crisis. Donations to Momentum are graciously accepted. Unrestricted donations keep operations running smooth and enable us to promote innovative instruction, summer camps, different things. Restricted donations help us provide special programs or scholarships and tuition assistance to families that qualify. There's a link for tuition assistance on our website, and there is a link to donate on our website. I invite anyone who's interested in learning more about Momentum, or even if you're already a part of Momentum, to take advantage of our free consultations. Free consultations are an opportunity for us to meet either in person, via Zoom, or on the phone. So we can talk about your concerns. We can talk about expectations, look at report cards, work samples, 504s, IEPs, and decide how we can work together to help students. Consultations are not just for parents, they are for tutors investigating the job market, community members looking to volunteer, other organizations wanting to collaborate, and donors who want to see where their money might potentially be going. We'd really love to open our doors and discuss win-win-win situations with anyone who's interested in supporting students in K through 12 academics. This concludes Tutoring 101. Now it's time for questions and answers. If you'd like to learn more, connect with Momentum, I encourage you to go to our website, momentumtutoring.org. Thank you for listening, and let's start the discussion.
Before we move to questions, can we please do another COVID pandemic clap for Teresa? Thank you so much. And everyone with Momentum this morning, Michelle, Cindy, we thank you for being here with Canine Companions. Lindsay did have to depart early with Resounding Joy, but she left her contact information down in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable coming on camera and you have a question, feel free to type that into the chat and I can share that with Teresa first.
Crickets. Does that mean I did a good job presenting?
Oh, yes. Let's see. We do have a thank you from Mina down in the chat. You're welcome, Mina. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Mina.
see. Going once, going twice. Okay. We have a comment from Rachel. My son is doing amazing at Momentum. We have been going since July and are very happy with the progress he is making. That is such a blessing to hear. That is
Thank you,
amazing.
Rachel.
The team is amazing. Such great people. Yes. I feel that too, and me and Teresa have only spoken a couple of times. We also have a comment. The team is amazing. Such great people. That is awesome. Awesome to hear. I see you, baby.
Tutor and training.
Oh my God.
We start them young, Melissa.
Oh my God. So cute.
She does. She goes into the center and she's learning her ABCs in the center, and she is getting mentored by one of my students. She's being read to. So
Awesome.
she's getting started early young.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. So cute.
See, I've been around long enough to see these kids that I taught in 4th grade start to have kids of their own, and
Oh, yeah.
kind of cool that we're all still staying together. And I didn't teach Michelle per se, but one of our other tutors, they've become good friends and they have babies together, and it's truly a family.
She's also a teacher as well.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and she also, which is really cool, she was the first student that I ever tutored in my home after I had my baby. And she kind of stayed with us. She became a tutor, a manager, helped me out with my own kids. And then she just recently got a 4th grade teaching job at Rio Seco School in Santee. And that's where I was teaching her. I was her 4th grade teacher at Rio Seco in Santee. So it was kind of cool.
The thing that sticks out to me that I want to impress upon any parents that are our bridge parents, and this is something that I had to understand just on this journey with Kendall. He's 16, but we had to understand that, like you said, Teresa, in the beginning, there shouldn't be crying. There shouldn't, on anyone's part, if there's frustration, if there is anxieties, then a lot of times it's where, mom or dad might need to reach out for help. And I really have been able, just in what I've read, what I've heard, the interviews that I've listened to, I feel like you all's approach and how you're supporting students is so very much needed right now, especially with all of the transition going on. There was a transition period that our kids went through, just like that. There were kids that just didn't go back from spring break. There are children who are transitioning back into the school, and all of that is a change. It's a transition, especially if you have a child on the spectrum on special, that special needs. So I just encourage anyone that's on. If you haven't tried this, I do suggest trying this. My mom's motto was nothing beats a fail but a try. And everything that I've seen, I just see the heart of what Momentum Tutoring is doing. I see the impact that they're making. So again, I am so happy to have them with us this morning. And I'm just going to check the chat again, but we won't delay too long. I thank everyone for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Melissa. I hope that we're going to have a long relationship working together to support the families in our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if anyone arrived late, just keep in mind this recording is going to be up along with slides, linked to Momentum's website. It's going to be up this Friday afternoon. Like always, if you have if you have not already, please subscribe. That way you'll know. I always do like a little recap and my takeaways and just my little sidebar comments on our blog. So that also lets people know when the replay is up. So looking forward to seeing everyone. So far, we've got November 17th up. CSA San Diego County is coming back. We've had some really great information from CSA San Diego County on protections when it comes to your children, when it comes to your family as a whole, in housing, and how to know if you're being discriminated against, what you can do as you're walking through the process of trying to find a place. They've really helped a lot of families who didn't even know the runaround that they were getting. Hey, you can't do that. So be sure to join us. That's November 17th. Of course, we're going to have some folks coming on before then, but we will post that to our events page and on our homepage as well, and it'll be in our newsletter. So we won't hold you all too much longer. I hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day. It's so wonderful to see everyone, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.